Alright, so this is one of the badges I'm working on. Badges are pretty small for Twitch, so this is only like a 150 by 150 canvas, as you can see at the top. The idea is he wanted them to be jellyfish. This one is based off of, I still have the tab open, where is it? A mauve stinger jellyfish. The scientific name is Pelagia noctiluca, but I've seen, yeah, mauve stinger is the common one, but there's also the purple stripes jelly, purple stinger, purple people eater apparently, purple jellyfish, blah blah blah. It's a bioluminescent jellyfish. We're not really going to go for the glow on this. The big thing is that we want this to look like a 3. And so that's why the tentacles are the way they are. I could have made this like smoother and rounder to get a cleaner look, but I wanted to kind of keep some of the, I guess, like, natural movements of the jellyfish in there. Because jellyfish don't make perfectly round movements. They're kind of, like, weird and wiggly, you know? And my tablet wasn't plugged in properly. Is it working now? Yes, it is. Cool. But yeah, jellyfish are weird and wiggly, so I wanted to have that be seen in the design, too. So this is what it is zoomed in at like 300%. If I zoom out to 100%, you can see the 3 is still visible. Perfect, perfect. And then if I even go to 12.5%, like up here. Sorry, I sneezed. But even from a distance, you can see the 3 is still visible, hopefully. I can. I don't know how it's showing up on stream with the layout. But that's the goal, is that you can still see the 3 no matter how zoomed out you are. And ideally, like, none of these colors are too dark. Like, if I change this background, it shouldn't blend in. Because Twitch uses a dark mode, a lot of people do at least, so, like, if I make it like this. Yeah, see? See? The jellyfish pops against the dark background. But it should also still be clearly visible against a white background. So they use like what, an off-white? Yeah, it looks a lot darker on a light background, like you can't really see the lighter tentacles there, and I'm still figuring out how I want to like fix that, but at least on a dark background like this, you can actually see like the extra tentacle bits. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. We are at the point where we realized that these little dots, these speckles, are not visible from far away, so I am going to try and change those. I'm going to try and make them like bigger dots. What color did I use for these? It's not that. Okay, it was a darker color. I don't know. I'll just take that color there. Alright, and I'm gonna put this on the color layer over here. Perfect. Alright, so yes, we noticed that these spots weren't showing up too well, and that's not good. So we're gonna redo them entirely. I also have to reblend this portion. There was going to be like a jellyfish nucleus thing in here. But I had originally made it like a 3 shape because like, hee, I'm hiding an extra 3 in there. But no. It could read as a 33 with the tentacles, and we don't need that. So that is being erased, and it's like, I could have done something else for nucleus, like just make it like a little like ball in here or something. But I don't think that's necessary, especially because like it might trick people into reading the whole jellyfish bell here as a 0 for like a 30. So we decided to just no nucleus whatsoever. Alright, so my thought for these bigger rings, because like if, let me try and get one of my reference photos pulled up for you guys. Copy image, create new from clipboard. So this is what the jellyfish actually looks like. I got rid of the extra small stinger things, because if I put them in, it would just be really busy and I think it would ruin the shape of the 3, so I didn't include it. You can see like these spots aren't actually completely filled, so I've got a couple different ideas for how to make it look bigger. Like my thought here is like, we could just do something like this where it's just little rings and then we fill in like the bottom half. Like that, you know? And then obviously we would rotate it so that way it's actually going with the length, I guess, of the jellyfish like it's supposed to. So it'd be something like this, you know? I'm just gonna like put these around and try to make it so that way they're not like an even pattern. These might be a little too big. I was thinking like if we want the spots to be seen from afar, they're gonna have to be way bigger than what I had them before. But I'm just thinking like they are covering a lot of space on the tentacles, and I think it looks like a different jellyfish now, which is the main issue. Because I think different jellyfish have like bigger spots like this. So I might have to do a thing where like I shrink it down. Instead of like hand texturing these in, I could just shrink them. And yes, the spots don't go on these tentacles. And just like copy and paste everything. Oh no, hang on. My cat found my roommate's. Do not go in there. I'm not used to sleep. Sorry about that. My roommate just got a new like painting station for his minifigures, and I don't want her cat fur getting all over it because then it could affect like the painting process. So I had to pull her out of it before she made any marks or slept there or anything. Yeah, this time around, if we zoom out, okay, at this size, you can kind of see the speckling and marking and stuff. This might be the compromise that we have to go with. Up close, I don't think I like how this looks, but this is the only way where you can get like the speckled nature of the jellyfish across. I'll definitely I'll keep this on a separate layer like I have here, so that way I can send it to Gel with and without and see what he prefers. I'm just gonna place that up here. And I'll fill in some of the spots in like other places. There we go. Alright, so we're keeping it like this for now. Just curious, if I hide them entirely... Still looks like a 3. We're losing some, like, contrast, I think? Ooh, the shadow helps a lot with making sure the 3 is still visible from afar. Okay, good to know. How does it look on a lighter background again? Very nice. Okay, the shadows that I have I think are working really well so far. Let me change the background color. There we go. It's because I hid the layer on accident. I'm gonna put it back to like my neutral layer here. I like to work with like a, not an off-white, but something that's just kind of like a mid-tone-ish type thing. So that way it's easier for me to work for longer periods without straining my eyes. Well, I noticed earlier that I had a bunch of like my colors peeking out from behind my lines, and that didn't look very clean. And for me, that's just one of those things where like, it's not going to be seen from afar, absolutely not. But for me, because I know that's happening, I don't like it. It's an issue there. Oh my gosh, hang on. She's going back to the spot. Okay, I have made a natural barrier of other objects on the other desk, so that way she cannot get into the painting booth that my roommate uses. So now his stuff should be safe, with any luck. Hello, randomist. Welcome in. Hides in a non-visible layer to get 1d4 surprise damage. Oh no! Why are you trying to ambush me? I'm just here to draw. Now that I'm thinking about it, I do need to go and properly like shade in, blend in everything for this part of the bell here. So I'm just gonna do that because you're seeing parts where the blending originally existed from my first pass before I got rid of the jellyfish nucleus, whatever. There, okay. So now, just gonna take my blend tool, push this in. Nice little gradient, yippee. Okay, and now I'm gonna take the center and just like push that back into where we pulled things. And ideally, this should get us a pretty smooth gradient when I use the blur tool. I'm just gonna slide it right on over, and bam! Perfect. Alright, and even from afar... Okay, we still got some of that, and then if I put the shading back on... Okay, it seems kind of stretched, the bell, as opposed to, like, round orb-like. I want it to be soft and squishy. So I'm gonna try and, like, fuck with the way I did the shadows. Like that, and then, like, you get more of, like, the round shape at the bottom here. I'm just kind of fucking around with the light source. It doesn't have to be proper, as long as I get, like, the shape I want from afar. And then here, I'm just gonna... There we go. How's it going today? A little rough, because I was trying to do some yard work, but it's like 80 degrees and the hose wasn't working, so it was not a good time. But drawing so far has been chill. I've just been rambling about the project. Okay, it's still a little, like, long. Oh. Like this, maybe? Morgana found my roommate's shelf of shame. It's like filled with boxes of stuff he hasn't built yet. And she found a little spot where she can just hang out. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I saw a box with a description of, like, amps and chords, and it's like, oh no! But no, she was just, like, rubbing up against an empty box. There wasn't anything in it, so it's like, okay, we're fine, we're good. She's not gonna eat the other wires there. She only does that when she wants my attention. I think right now she's clearly exploring. Yard work when it's hot is indeed the worst. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, what's wrong with our hose, because my roommate noticed that the hose pressure has been off, but, like, I didn't, because it'd been a little while since I used the hose, so it's like, okay, I'll take a look today. And then I confirmed for him, yeah, that sucks ass. something happened to it. So he was asking me to troubleshoot, like, where the issue is. Is it in, like, one of the hose extensions that we bought or anything like that? But I could not get them to come apart. Like, I had already confirmed, yep, they're pretty close together, they're stuck on, like, I don't know why it's not, the pressure isn't working when they're very closely attached. You know, I wonder if I just put this whole thing in shadow here, does that help anything? I think I just want a little bit more, like, curve, roundness here. Yeah, long story short, I could not even connect the middle parts of the connecting hose. I think something is going on with it. He was saying it might be breaking because it's cheap. And I'm inclined to agree at this point. Because, like, the nozzle head would not click back into place after I took it off to try and troubleshoot what was happening. Very dark on the shadows. Maybe I do want more light on the bell. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna introduce this section back in. Because I noticed the legs are very dark with the shading that I have right now. Because the idea is like the legs are making the 3, so I made that the darkest part. But with the shading, it's not quite giving me the contrast that I had in mind. So I'm gonna do it like this, I think. Okay, that is a nice bell head for the jellyfish. I need to find a way to bring more contrast, or maybe I don't into the 3 because it is meant to be like, that's where the number is, so that reads as a 3 to me. I think I'll keep it for now. I'll keep it for now. Since I have this reblended, I think the shading's working pretty well. How does it look with the additional rings again? Because that's what they've kind of turned into. It's originally supposed to be spots, but now it's more like rings in order to make it visible. I feel like that ruins a lot of my clarity on the bell. I'll fuck around with like the opacity a little bit. We can go with that. It might just be a situation where we remove the spots entirely at this point, just for the sake of clarity. I feel like the highlights there on the 3 do help. They don't take it away from reading as a 3 either. I might make this highlight a little smaller. Wrong layer. And then I'll blur it a bit more. Okay, and then one outside of that, yeah, that looks fine. This is about a fishing trip. It sounds vaguely familiar. Haha! Alright, so do you remember last year, Gel and I had a fishing competition in Stardew Valley. The goal was to see who could catch the most fish. Well, that was because he was running his own stream event where he essentially goes on a digital fishing trip. He starts and ends it with a, like, I don't know, not 12-hour, but very long desert bus stream. So he's like driving out to go fishing, and then the idea is he works with all of his streamer friends, people he knows, etc., to have fishing competitions in various video games. He lost every single competition last year, and I think the year before, so he's on a huge losing streak. But the point is less about winning and more about having fun and doing fish-related activities with friends. This year, it's actually going to be a charity event. There is a wildlife group that helps support fish conservation in the US, which all of the proceeds are going to be going to. This year, he wanted to go a little bit further in on like the extra fun bits, so that's why there's also going to be these badges that you can unlock during the event. I assume one of them must be for like gifting subs or something, but I don't know what the other one would be used for. Yeah, we've already decided what we're going to use for our video game of choice to fight in this year. I'll give you guys a hint. It's another cozy game. But otherwise, I'm not gonna say what we're fighting in until we have our set day and time for the competition. And I'm going out of my way to avoid practicing or anything to try and make it as fair as possible. I did kind of stomp him last year, so you know, anything to make things easier for him, you know? Give him a fighting chance. Ho, ho, ho. Anyways. We'll stop shit-talking when he isn't even here to defend himself. But that's the idea. I'm happy to be working on some badges for the event. Of course, they came from him, the idea for them. He wanted one in the shape of a 3, and then one in the shape of a little present bow. Okay, alright. You know, I did kind of stomp him last year. Ah! Imagine beating me in a competition. Ah! There you go. There's your villainous laugh. Alright, I think this is mostly done, honestly. It's a shame that with how small it's going to be, because like these are chat badges, you know? So that's why I keep zooming out really, really far to try and emulate how it'll look when next to somebody's name in the chat. And alas, like, I don't think the rings are gonna be worth it from when that zoomed out. Because, like, you can barely see them, otherwise they just kind of, like, I don't know. You can still barely see them from here. It just looks a lot darker for some reason. I think personally I'd rather have those like really bright bits stand out some so the 3 stands out more on its own. Hopefully your triumphant pride doesn't precipitate a dizzying fall. What? No, that's impossible. I surely would not fall prey to my own hubris. No way. I did briefly consider for a little bit, like, trying to do some glowy portions. Like, just taking a really light color and going over parts that should be glowy. You know, like that. That's not a light color, it's a colored color, but, like, you know what I mean. Saturated color, there we go. Just trying to make them glow a little bit. But alas, because there's no background, it doesn't really glow on anything else. It only glows when there's another layer under it. Oh my god, did you just clip the laugh? Oh, I did kind of stomp him last year. Oh, jeez. Imagine beating me in a competition. Ah, damn it. Oh no, now he's gonna know I was shit-talking him. Nah! I'm gonna if I like put it here? Nah. I think I would want the tentacles to be the glowy bits, honestly, because like it's not very easy to see in this reference image, but let me see if I can find another one. There we go. So like they do have the ability to glow. Look at that, look at that. It's very pretty, but it's usually only on like the frills or their nucleus. And unfortunately we didn't include the nucleus in this. So if I was going to make them glow, it'd only be on these sections. But like, I feel like that would ruin... Yeah, it kind of ruins the shading of it, honestly. And I doubt it'll even show up from afar. Yeah, you cannot tell that that's there. Okay, it's not a detail worth including if it can't be seen when it's really tiny. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, if that's the case, I think the best thing to do then is to set this back to like our faux dark mode color and check to make sure, yep, we still have some things that are poking out like the sides of the lines. I'm just gonna clean them up myself because I hate that. I don't like that. I do have like an underlayer as well in a lighter color because sometimes when you like blend and blur things, it stretches the color in a way where you lose color if you don't have other color nearby. Like for example, like right at the edges of these tentacles, because there's no color out there, it would start like losing opacity because it has to stretch the color over a broader area that doesn't have anything there in the first place. Okay, there. Could this instead be my highlight layer? No. What's causing that one? I'm just gonna get rid of this layer entirely because I don't need it. So it is partially this layer, but it's also partially my underlayer. Hey, what are you doing? You want attention and come into your cat bed. Yeah, you got a little cat tree Morgana. Why don't you use it? Fun fact, when I first played RuneScape, I really wanted to name my username, like slash character name, Katrina. But I misspelled it. It was a C-A-T-R-E-E. And so I turned it into a purposeful thing, like, haha, it's like cat tree and Katrina. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. That was intentional, definitely. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. I was a stupid kid. So it's intentional. Yeah. You know, you can never spell things normally and actually get that as your username nowadays. Like, are you crazy? You gotta do like 30 different variations with like letters and underscores and dashes and X's before it'll let you take something normal. No, undo that there. I think what the issue is the underlayer. There we go. Okay, so that's our faux like dark mode color. Let's go to like our faux light mode. Cool, everything looks pretty clean there. And we're gonna actually just hide this so we go back to transparent. I'm going to cut my little color palette here and put it on a different layer that we can hide. And we're just gonna shoot. How did you get there? Oh, she found a plastic bag. Hang on. Alright, sorry about that. She found the plastic bag, and that let me see that at some point in time, a bottle of, like, airbrush lubricant had been knocked over, so I had to clean that up. So it's like, you know what? I'm so sorry, Morgana. You cannot be in the hobby room. Not when he's, like, in the middle of a painting project and all of his stuff is still all over the place. Because, like, he was working on the bases the other night for new minis, and that's why there's, like, crap all over the place right now. And it's like, it's just, no, she knocked over a bottle here, or stuff like that. We... Not good. No good, very bad time. Okay, just delete that layer. Cool. We have our color palette safely saved on an opposite layer. Alright, I think this one is actually done, because it's very, like, I already got most of it done, honestly. I just wanted to touch this one up. However, I saved the other one for all of the working stages, because I got him to approve an initial sketch, but I still need to modify it, and then line it, and then color it, so we're good with that one. I mean, with this one, we're good, but for that one, we still have plenty of work to do. I was considering, like, smoothing out the shading here, but I did say cell shading, so it's fine, it's fine. It doesn't need to be blended. If I were to smoothen out the shading, just to experiment, as a little treat, like, if we just, like, took the blur tool and went to town everywhere. I don't think. Yeah, we do that there. Yes, yeah, don't like how that looks on the little tentacle parts down there. I don't know, that looks basically the same to me from afar. Yeah, I did not see any difference when I was undoing, so there's no point in blending it out. Okay, cool. Alright, this one is done. I will send him both versions with and without the rings to see what he prefers. It does look a little plain up close without all the spots and stuff, but if we're trying to get them visible from afar, they have to be that big. So, we'll see. Saving that for now. Okay, and then now I'm gonna open my next one. Alright, so this is the other badge she wanted me to make. This is based off of a different jellyfish. It's based off of the phantom jellyfish. Let me get a good reference image for you guys. The scientific name is Stygio Medusa gigante. commonly known as the giant phantom jelly. They're really, really, really big deep sea jellyfish. They're so cool. Apparently they're very rare. Like, copy image. Bam. That's what they look like. And so his original sketch looked something like this, where it was angled. To be safe, I made one that was more symmetrical, and he liked that one more because it gave off the present idea better. But we did decide we wanted to make this bow section much bigger, and then I think I'm going to make these a little bit shorter, like they'll probably end here instead of here, so that way the bottom part is more easily legible. Alright, so I am saving you. Then I blocked in the color that he wanted me to use as well on the other one. I can just adjust it to this layer too. Reminds you of when Discord swapped over to usernames. Yeah. I know a lot of people at the time were kind of pissed that they did that because, like, there was no reason to. I think it was just they wanted to be more, like, approachable for when they were gonna vent. Because aren't they, like, publicly available or something now? Or were they being bought or something? I don't quite remember. I was pretty sure it was a monetization thing. Like, make it more so that it functions like other things, so people who can invest can be like, yeah, I'm familiar with that. I luckily managed to get the username that I wanted with the unique usernames, but that's just because I've been using Discord for so long. They're like, yeah, you get priority. So good luck, anybody else who wanted to be Lady Luckless. I got it first. Surprisingly. I'm still hoping that one day whoever has Lady Luckless on Twitch who's never streamed will eventually just, like, randomly reappear and go, I don't want that name anymore, and then I can snatch it for myself. Because it would be so cool. That's the name I wanted, and alas. Okay, not like that. My thought is got a little curl going on like that, like that. It still fights with the shape of the jellyfish a little bit, but, like, overall, it's not as bad. Don't remember why they do it, but you assume it has something to do with monetization or shareholder nonsense. Yeah, that's normally the best thing to assume. If Discord's making a decision that nobody agrees with, 9 times out of 10, it's for monetization reasons or shareholder reasons, and that's why nobody agrees with it, because shareholders and money are not the best motivators for decisions. Who would have thought? Alright, so we wanted to make this much bigger and cuter. Like, big, just giant ass bow, you know? It needs to be the cutest thing alive. You know what? If I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna save the strands, because maybe I actually do put them back to where they were now that the bow is so big. It looked too long with a shorter ribbon, but now it's like, I'm just gonna cut them entirely and put them on a different layer right now to save them. There we go. Alright, so now we can mess with the bow and make it as cute as we want. It's a tentacle bow. It doesn't need to have any rhyme or reason or logic. Okay, make sure that we stay, like, roughly as centered as possible. With the symmetry tool, I don't always use it, but when I do, I try to make it as easy as possible to like using it. Okay. So just cleaning up those lines there. We need that line back because that's where, like, the jellyfish head is. The bell. I don't need to be calling it jellyfish head. Gel even told me it's called a bell. Okay, I'm thinking also, what if I like... It's a little bottom heavy right now, this bow, so my thought is I can like skew it potentially. No, I think what I have to do instead is... Wheel? Yeah, okay. And then now... Can I just like turn off the ruler? Show ruler. No? Let's go. Okay. So now I can skew each half individually. So we can get it to be like a little bit more centered, you know? Then we can resize it again to be giant ass ribbon. That did get rid of my symmetry though. Fuck. I never said all of my ideas were good ideas. Just that I had an idea, you know? Alright, so now I can turn that back on. Okay, we can shift this off to the side so it is back centered again. Boop. Stretch it. Still off center, so maybe... The orb is not even. Oh. I don't know how I fix that. I'm still not the best at working with the symmetry tool. Like I showed off a bunch of using it when I was working on that one object, the staff. But alas, I haven't really used it since. I'm still not very good with it. Yeah, I think I might just have to leave it at that. That's fine. So is that ribbon bigger than what we started with? Yes, but how much bigger if I just do some undos? Oh yeah, quite a bit bigger. Because I did shrink it when trying to get it to, yeah, skew like that. Is that still a big enough ribbon, though, is the question. What if we went bigger? Meow. Perhaps. Meow. Meow. Flip it back like this again. We do still have the same issues. Like, it's clearly like a top-heavy bow. I think let's do this. Let's go back to our original orientation. Freshen these sides up. Where is that line supposed to be? Like roughly like right here? Okay. Okay, and then I do want to clean up these like tentacles down here a little bit. Yeah, just the way that they were curved felt a little too sharp to me in the beginning. Like that. And then I can erase like this here. Cool. Same thing with these guys here. We can round them out more. I think I'll just like finish the curve there. That tentacle? Okay, okay. Alright, now we can bring these back. Ooh, wrong layer. Okay, I should just be able to attach these in here. Right. Okay, and then because those lines match up with the base layer pretty well, I can just shoot. Something like that. I think that works for what we're going for, honestly. So with that done, we should be good to move on to the line art stage. Should I include like the top of the jellyfish here? Should I do that? I'll see how it looks without it. It might just be better to leave it out, honestly. Like, the line would get finished here. Going back to my original sketches I sent him, I didn't have the ribbons kind of folding in from the top, but they did cover one of the folds off at the sides here. So here, I think one more change I'll make is I'll make it clearer that the ribbons are like folding in, sorry, the tentacles are folding in, like that. And you know what? I have talked myself out of... There we go. I have talked myself out of not having this bow be centered at the top here. So I'm gonna turn off my ruler again. And we're just gonna do some really quick editing work. Because if we put it up here... It doesn't have to be on top, but we can use it to cover like the top of the jellyfish head. And I feel like that'll work much better. Okay, cool. So then now, we can go and turn it back on. We can have like this here. Perfect. Now I can have like just a gentle curve there. And I think I actually prefer the idea of having like another bump wave, whatever it is, in the tentacles here. Okay. That works. I am hoping that is clear enough with what the concept entailed. I'm just going to fix the original coloration that he wanted in terms of, like, I put down a base layer assuming he would want his original sketch, but he ended up going with the more symmetrical version anyway. So I'm just going to clean that up. That way I already have, like, a base layer like I had for the other one. And if I need to clean it up, so be it. I had to clean up the other base layer, you know? Okay, I am just going to grab our brown. There we go. Okay, and then I'm forgetting, did I set this to... Ooh, my lines are currently normal. What if I set them to, like, hard light? That, I think, is a little better. I like the purple. Soft light? Too soft. Color burn? Too dark. That is too light. Yeah. Okay. Hard light it is. Now I can save that one. Ooh. Now I can get rid of this reference image, back to this one. Okay, base layer done, reference line layer done, so now I can go to actually inking. If I can, I would love to set up a symmetry ruler here too, so that way I can get everything done in one go. Because it's such a symmetrical design. Can I get it right? That's a little off. I don't know any easier way to set up the rulers, unfortunately. Well, hey, that looks right on the grid. Cool. Alright, we can set this to like half there. Go. Now, I think this would make a good line color. Ooh, what thickness did I use for the lines on this one? Probably not 3, maybe 5? Or was it perhaps 4? I'm willing to place my bets on 4 based on just how things look here. Okay. That's probably something I should work on for another time. Is like making sure I have the correct pen sizes in mind for different things I'm working on. I tend to just change it as needed, but perhaps things could be more consistent if I actually made a note of what I was doing. Who would have guessed? That's the thing that took me a long time to realize about recipes. It's not that people can't cook without them normally, it's that it's a way to ensure consistency. So yes, I can do the thing where I can throw in a bunch of seasonings and sauces and it's like, okay, yeah, I think that tastes good. But if I want to get the same sauce every time, then that's why people use recipes and measurements and stuff. For something like baking, I knew that, you know, the consistency is key to getting what you want to bake. But for cooking, I never understood. Come on. Yeah, that's probably good enough. And there. There. Yeah. Well, let's just go with that one. And then now we can hide the ruler. And we are free to ink the ribbons here. Okay, if I had hide that. Maybe I should have used 5 looking at it now. Oh well. Guess I'll die. I guess I could just go back in, thicken it up in certain places. Or I guess I could just re-ink it. It didn't take me that long to get the inking done because it's such a small drawing. Fuck it, we ball. Okay. Back here. I think I like the bigger thing there, so good enough. Ugh, the glow theme is still so good from Teenage Exocolonist. It is the perfect right amount of ethereal, otherworldly, and unsettling all at once. Love it so much. The artists and the musicians for I Was a Teenage Exocolonist really understood the assignment. Come on. Eeh. Good enough, I think. Line there. Line there. Okay. Okay, that looks a lot closer to the line consistency I had over here. If we, like, hide the shadows and stuff. Yeah, that looks so much closer. If I hide that, I don't like those things. Put that back to normal, I guess. Alright, okay, so now we can hide the ruler and just finish the little... What do you call this part of the bow? I've just been calling it the orb, the ball, that kind of thing, but there's probably... Is it the knot? The knot of the bow? I think that's what it might be. Can't say if any idea about the specifics of bow terminology. Yeah, that makes sense. It's not something most people look into. You know, I've tried to like study some fashion terms, but every single time I inevitably forget what anything is. Okay, I think that's good there. If I wanted to, I could maybe extend like the bell to be lower down here. But I don't think that's really a detail that we need. I wanted to keep the tentacle legs coming out of this because, you know, that's kind of like the key thing of it. It's got the really big flowy tentacles. I could also do a thing of, instead of showing them coming from behind, we could just like fill in all of this here as if it's like tentacles behind it and then shade it like that. Like, here, let me erase this and show you guys what I mean. Show the ruler again so I can clean up these lines. Okay, so thought is, we go onto this layer, and then we color all of this in, and then when we eventually go onto our shading layer, I'm just gonna take like a random purple for now. I can just put that right there behind, and it looks like there's things behind it, right? Maybe we can do that for like these tentacles here too that are in the back. Like they're shaded as if they're in shadow until like here, maybe? And then we would get a little shadow here, I think. Yeah, something like that. That looks about right. Of course, the bow leaves a shadow there. We have a shadow at the bottom of the bow. Do that there. I think that's working pretty well. Like, maybe not this, like, a color for the cell shading, but you see the vision. Cool. Cool. Alright. If that's going to work, because I think that really does look like jellyfish to me. If I zoom out really far, depending on the shading, yeah, that still reads as like a big ribbon. How can I get it to look more ribbon-like, though? Probably some value differences, other than, like, the only stuff that we have right now. Let me just go ahead and get my value checker. Yeah, it's so samey right now. If we add some contrast, we should be good to go. So I'm just gonna add a folder here with my lines, and then we'll have you in here and you in here. Now, the question is, what did I go for with the color? Because he definitely wanted like that yellow gold color. The actual jellyfish that it's based off of generally has like a glowy core type thing. I think we can get the nuclei in this one. Let's try it. Or maybe we ignore it because so much of the head is covered by the nuclei. I think we ignore it, but instead we take that idea of like we get the lighter value in here. I'm gonna shift this up here, up here. What if we put it like there? Didn't mean to put that on the same layer as the base layer and meant to put it above. Ha 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 ha. Because I can use my highlight to give it a round shape if I want to. Instead of just like going straight for a gradient. You I'm gonna put on... Ooh, hard light is not working. Multiply? Multiply. I chose a relatively dark ink color for this one because I already knew like I was working with a dark purple there. So I think that's why it works on hard light. Well, I use a lighter color here, so hard light ends up being like hard to read. Yeah, there we go, we got some contrast going now. I think we could stand to go lighter. Ah. The tolerance is too powerful, as is the area scaling. I like that. Yep. Okay. So I think, well, for now, since we're treating this as just like some patterning texturing on the tentacles, I'm not gonna worry about like shaping it for now. But that is on my mind. Blending that out there. Blending that out there. Okay, and then now I can blur it. It's looking like this is meant to be kind of like a goldish, yellowish. I assume it's meant to be like shiny, sparkly, glittery, that kind of thing, you know? So I think that the highlights here that we've been doing are actually working quite well. Wait, zoom out. It'll help if I don't have a mid-tone background so I can test it against our dark mode stand-in. Okay, yep. Pretty good there. Light mode stand-in. I think it does need some darker tones. And just a bit more gradient work going on, you know? Okay, and before I forget, I need to put my color palette on a different layer so that way we don't lose it. That's a blur. Highlight color, base color. Nope. There we go. Okay, if I need like a darker value between the two of these, then firstly, let me just try reintroducing some of this into like my blending layer. Cleaning up that base layer a little bit before I move on, because I will have to do it later. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. So if I just go straight for the blur tool here. You know, like hooks in some shading a little bit, just not too much of it. It's mostly just bringing the original base color back in. So now if we're looking for something a little darker, what we can do is take this, go a little warmer, shift it down here-ish maybe? Nah, I want something brighter. And we go even further into the orange. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that. Okay, okay, okay. So I think I'll put this on like these tentacles here. Ooh, wrong layer. Look at all of our background areas that are already going to be in shadow, so we have some even darker areas. And I can do it like where it's coming from the ribbon bow, maybe? I'm just kind of going based off of vibes right now. What if we did it like the edge of the thing here? And like as if it's coming from jellyfish in that color too. And we'll take this color and like shift it here. Ah! When did I get on this layer? Uh-oh. Whatever. It's fine. I'll figure it out later. Yeah, putting these colors here. And then you here. I'll do it like here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna reintroduce our main color in a lot of these places. Instead of there, what if we put it here, maybe? Looking basically about what I had in mind. Just gonna like fix these sections that I already blended, honestly, and like see what I can do with like having a 3-color blend. Like this. Oogie. Did I put my base color back down here? No, I did not. Ho, 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 ho. Almost messed that up. Okay, I think I'll keep most of that the same though. Just have like the bright section here. Okay. Looking nice and like shiny textured, I would say, without ever having to do like real shading, I would say, in terms of like light sources and stuff like that. Excellent. Excellent. Now I can just run the blur tool over everything, smooth it out. Not add anything on the edges though. Okay, then we can still have our cell shading there. Perfect, perfect. What color did I use for the normal cell shading? A purplish looking thing, right? Yeah, that might be a little too dark. I'm gonna see what like a lighter purple looks like. Oh no, okay, I need to fix that. Tolerance up. Area scaling. Oh, my lines are killing me. Yeah, I've got like an outline now. Great. Oh, for some reason I'm using my transparent color. That's what happened. There we go. I mean, it still has the outline, but it's at least better than it was before. I generally just thought like, oh, I must have accidentally color picked the same color as my background. Haha, silly me. I might actually stick with the slightly darker purple because like that's more contrast there. Like I've got some decent mid-tones, I would call these. But nothing really dark. And I guess like It's just a badge. Maybe I don't need to worry about that kind of thing. But I'm trying to be more aware of my values because it is supposed to help with clarity and legibility on things. With the shadows in a lot of places, it actually does help quite a bit. This back. Then I erase that out. Have some shadow there. Maybe even just like have like the sides covered in shadow like that. Get the undersides there. Could get the back of the ribbon too, so like the shiny front gets pushed forward. 12.5 zoom. At least on my end, I feel like I can see the bow. Maybe the ribbons at the bottom less so. You can see the gaps between the tentacle legs. Using the purple helps it kind of give it like a, I don't know, it feels so vibrant. I like it a lot, especially like using that orange as a darker mid-tone. I think that helped a lot to make it more colorful instead of less. I guess if we were just going for a gold look, I should have gone with the brown, because like orange does tend to be more brown when you're using it for certain things. Not orange, gold. Gold tends to be more brown in like certain lightings and stuff like that. I don't know, I'm liking it. It's very warm and poppy. Like using the orange ties it into Gel, who is, the person hosting the event, so I like that. It'll also help when I add in my highlights too, to help increase those value contrasts. Because I purposefully avoided like going too high over here so I could save it for my highlights. So I'm thinking something like, ooh, have I considered though, instead of having it be shaded from under, that we do it kind of like this, like this, where like the bow itself has a part where it like juts out and it looks all pretty and cute. No, I think with the way I textured it, well, that's just not gonna work. So I think we'll do like this, where like the top of the bow is getting like the fun highlights. I'll maybe like put one here because I can and ignore like the texturing there. It's fine, it's fine. And then we can put like a highlight here. There you go, and one there. If we're trying to like curve the tentacles at all, then I guess it would kind of be like we're following the curve here. So where's the highest section? That would probably be like this. Does that make any sense? I don't know. What if I just made it two little orbs? I think that works. I'm not gonna put any highlights on the tentacles underneath, so they get less attention on them. Yeah, because if I hide this layer here, the colors don't extend up there. Yeah, that looks pretty clearly like a bow to me from where I'm zoomed out. Again, you guys probably can't see it, but I have to do this check constantly to make sure it's legible. Okay, and I think I do dare. I go all the way to like a bright white there for certain sections of the bow. Oh, like blends in basically. Bam, pure white. Okay, now if I blur these sections out. A little too much there. I like to give them hard edges along one side of it because I feel like that helps to like convey like there is a contour of sorts going on there. I just feel like these two are not the wave. I like what I did for these down here. You get the roundness, I think. I think these two, I need to workshop it a little more as well. Maybe I should just continue the highlight all the way along. All the way along the thing here. The edge of the ribbon, there we go. Instead of having the gap. I think the gap was fucking with it. Yeah, having continuous one there works. Okay, okay. So now, back to the little trails here. In my head, it makes sense to have shadows at the bottom of the ribbon, but perhaps I'm going about it the wrong way. Do I need this color for anything? Was I using it for something? I cannot tell. Was that the line color? Yes, it totally was. Okay, I'm gonna go back to up here, put this off to the side so I don't lose it. I don't need the symmetry. Okay, there we go. Let's put you back into... Ooh. Is it already in normal? Versus multiply? It's fine. Back into here, we'll grab this purple color again. We'll also put this off over here on that layer. Perfect. Back into multiply, so I can just color pick from here. Clean up this edge here while I'm thinking about it and looking over everything. I feel like those ribbon tails, ribbon ends here. Perhaps I'm going about them wrong. Maybe it should be more like the whole thing is elevated because it's going over the round segments below. That could work. Maybe. So something like that, where it's the edges that are being in shadow. And we would like erase some of it to get this little tail curl here. That does make it stand out better from like the little bell underneath. I think I'm doing this instead. I don't know if it makes sense necessarily, but it looks good to me, so I'm going for it. Which means, how do I apply the highlight here? If it's like being elevated in some way. I think I slim these shadows down a little bit more. Make this follow the curve as well. Okay, now go up here. Something like this, maybe? Or perhaps like this instead? No. That doesn't look right either. I'm still figuring it out. Give me a moment. Circles now? No. Maybe we just go with that. I don't know. No. Could be an issue with how I textured it. Hello, Maxwell Silver. Welcome in. How are you doing today? The day is going well so far. I've stumped myself on a shading problem with these ribbon ends here. I'm trying to figure out like what's the best part to place a highlight because I think I do want a highlight. Maybe I don't need one because it still is pretty visible from a 12.5 zoom, which is like my estimation of what size it'll be at when this badge goes into a chat. But we'll see, we'll see. How was your day? How are you doing? It's mostly been chill vibes. Not even hype moments, just chill vibes this whole time of me working, listening to... I Was a Teenage Exocolonist is the name of the game. Their soundtrack is wonderful. They worked with a lot of different artists and musicians to create, firstly, artists, the in-game assets, and then musicians for the soundtrack. There's lots of cool vibes. Take my shading color back. This is for a big event. You just got home from work. I would consider it a big event. There is a streamer that I know. Dare I say, am I friends with them? Yeah. But there's a streamer that I know. He does a fun thing every year in the summer where it's like he goes on a virtual fishing trip. And so he'll start and end the event with a big old desert bus run, and then throughout the week. Because it's from June 7th to June 14th. He's gonna be inviting his friends on to compete with them in different games that have fishing. They don't have to be fishing games, just games that have fishing. He has lost every single competition he's ever put himself into in previous years. Horrible, horrible win-loss record for him. And so, of course, he's doing it again this year, because ultimately it's about having fun. This year, though, all of the money that comes from, like, subs and stuff like that is going to charity. There is a US group that he picked, which works on conserving different fish species. And so that's fun. I am going to be participating in one of the fishing competitions. I'm not going to say what game we've picked yet, but as soon as I have a set time for when we're going to do our match, I'm going to be letting everybody know. Yeah, I participated last year, and we had our fishing competition in Stardew Valley. I crushed him, not going to lie. Ho, 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 I was the more prepared fisherman. That sounds cool. Is there a schedule? Not yet. Like I said, my competition day has not been set yet, and that's because, like, nobody's has been. It took a little while to get all of the people who were going to join actually ready to join the server. I think there was just a bit of delay on people filling out forms and stuff like that, because, like, he was trying to get it more organized this year of, like, okay, I'll have a form that people can fill out if they want to participate instead of me having to go into, like, 30 different DMs, you know? But then, like, people didn't fill out the form right away because people on the internet are notorious for not being able to plan things properly, you know? So it took a little while to get everybody in the right spot, but now we should be able to start planning soon based on the scheduling thing. There was a link that went out. Women, cute girls, woohoo! Oh, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope you come root for me when it's my turn to beat Gel into the ground. I mean, participate in a good old-fashioned round of sportsman fishing. Haha. Haha. Technically, I didn't get his permission, but I did, he made some ads. The GIF on the left, I think, is from a previous year, and he just repurposed it, but it's great. And then the one on the right is a new one that he made for this year. June 7th through June 14th is going to be the event days. We at least know the days, there's just no set schedule yet. Oh, right, the thing I'm working on. So I'm working on badges for said event. I was so excited talking about the competition and stuff. I forgot about the thing I'm working on today. He hasn't said what exactly they're gonna be for, but I'm assuming one of them is a gift sub badge. And then there's this other one, which is 3 jellyfish. No! Damn it! Thank you so much for the clip. Let me guess, you got it of me saying I'm gonna beat him into the ground, huh? You come root for me when it's my turn to beat Gel into the ground. I mean, participate in a good old-fashioned round of sportsman fishing. Haha. Haha. Damn it. Oh no. People paid points for me earlier to do a villainess laugh that was like me clowning on him, so now I feel like people are trying to hype up a rivalry. Definitely appreciated the raid last week. Not sure if you remember. I wanted to fix my guide, say things again. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I remember. How did Engage go? Because you're playing Engage, right? I don't think... Was I able to stick around for a little bit for that one? I do not quite remember. Hyper-competitive fishing. The worst, best, question marks kind of fishing. You know, I've been fishing in real life, like, once? Because my grandpa lives in Florida. So when I was a kid, he took me fishing. Otherwise, I have, like, never been fishing. It's all been digital and virtual fishing. So if somebody was to actually invite me out to go fishing, I would be a useless, horrendous wreck. It's like, how do I do this? Huh? What do you mean I have to go out and do things? You're getting set up to continue? Oh, nice! Good luck! I hope your maps go well for you today. May all the random, like, 4% crits not happen. I keep on forgetting to pick this color and put it on my color picking thing, so it's going here. There we go. I want to, like, redo the highlights here, because I feel like they just didn't connect into the previous ones well. I'm gonna just blur that out. It fades so fast. Okay, that's probably fine. It's not like anybody's gonna be able to see it that far from a distance. Right. I'm just gonna clean this up a little, though. And then I think maybe just, like, shift it up a little overall. Like that, maybe? It's still thicker than the other side. What did I do differently between the two? Now, what's an art style? I can't be consistent for 5 seconds. And then fishing once you were small when you fish last. Yeah, I feel like for a lot of people, if you don't live near the water, you're just never gonna have an opportunity. But even if you do, like, there are licenses and stuff you need to go fishing. A lot of people don't know that. I guess it also matters, like, do you even have the equipment? If you don't, then when are you gonna do it? You'd have to rent equipment, I guess, for a day if you want to go fishing, which I guess isn't a bad idea, depending on how high the prices are. I've never once looked into renting fishing equipment. Maybe I should do that. Turn myself from a fake fisher, or maybe a digital fisher, into a real fisher. Maybe that can be my bet with Gel, because, like, last year there was a thing that I carried over from previous years where people were doing, like, you know, house bets on the side. The actual competitions don't have any stakes other than, you know, can Gel finally win something and not be stuck in forever losing. But they did add on extra bets and stuff, so for us, we just kept it simple and easy. It was, you know, some gifted subs. But I know for other people, they bet things like he had to eat a certain food, he had to play a certain game. There was one more that stood out to me, but I actually can't remember it, so maybe it didn't stand out all that much. But it was anything, really, as long as he's, like, not... Basically, if you guys aren't uncomfortable with the bet, anything goes for the side bets. Aren't there sites you can go to for fishing, like physical sites? Probably! Like, the set locations where you're allowed to fish versus, like, if you need a license for it. I wonder if there's, like, a fishing open season. Like, you know how it is for hunting? Is there a fishing season? Obviously, it'd probably be hard to fish in the winter, but I know fishing in the winter is still possible, right? Okay, honestly, we might be done sooner than I intended, because, like, this looks pretty good when zoomed out. I'll put my faux dark mode on again. Aha, that's the issue. I need to clean up my edges. I would say maybe fishing is something I can get into in the future, but I'm gonna have to start small. Like, I could barely last doing some yard work today. It was 80 degrees, not even higher than that. But I was sitting there trying to pull on the hose and like take it apart and see if I could figure out what's wrong with it. And I was miserable! I was sitting here having a no good, very bad, awful time. Actually, I don't think these lines, my issue is any of the colors, really. It's mostly just like I didn't get the shading onto the lines, I think. Like maybe the colors aren't out far enough. Like if I take this, I hide that again. Yeah. I need to be very careful and fill out the line. I apologize, have to hop off for now. Glad able to catch a stream. Looks really nice. Thank you! I appreciate it. Once again, good luck with Fire Emblem. I hope it goes well for you. No bad crits. If there is a low percent crit, it's one that you needed, not the enemy needed. That's what we always hope for. Okay, so yeah, definitely is a combination of like my colors aren't out far enough. How do I fix that? In an easy to fix way. I guess there is no easy to fix way, really. It's basically just fill everything in. Ooh, do you guys think if I found a playlist of the Engage soundtrack on YouTube that I wouldn't get in trouble for it? Because I know like some game companies are really stupid about catching you for using their music, but Nintendo doesn't, right? Could be fun to add to my rotation. It's definitely nowhere near as like chill as the I Was a Teenage Exocolonist playlist. However, I do love me some Fire Emblem Engage music. I think it's one of the best things about the game, honestly, is the music. We didn't get to hear it for long, but every time we got to a soul map and we were hearing like the 5 seconds of combat, it's like, ooh, this hits. The map themes for that game honestly go a little crazy. Well, I've also been thinking, like, once I'm done with Engage, I might pull out my GBA emulator. I might pull out my GBA and play Fire Emblem 7, because I mentioned that was my first Fire Emblem game. And I think it'd be really cool to show everybody, like, what Fire Emblem looks like when it's not cotton-colored anime hair girls, or, sorry, toothpaste anime hair boys and girls, you know, that kind of thing. Because Engage was honestly kind of a departure from what we were used to for the series. A lot of people were shocked when they first saw it. And like, of course, there's some people who are gonna be like naysayers, truthers of the original series, like, oh, this is bad, blah, 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 that kind of thing. When Engage actually does have a lot to offer. But I do think there was a bit of like culture shock in the moment, you know, because it felt like such a drastically different direction from normal Fire Emblem. So it'd be neat to show you guys what an older Fire Emblem looks like, because a lot of my audience has played Fire Emblem before, but I still think there's some fun in going back to older games. I would have to, because if I'm gonna go do an FE7 run, then what I would do is like get it so that way I unlock Hector mode, because when I was younger I could barely get myself to finish well, okay, do I want to do Hector hard mode when those maps suck ass? So like, I could barely get myself to finish Hector mode when I was a kid, because, like, once I got good enough at the game to actually get through and clear it and stuff, I was able to beat Ellawood's story, and then I dragged myself across the finish line for Hector's story, but it was only after, like, putting down and picking the game back up several times. So maybe I should just do that now, is like finally experience Hector hard mode for the first time. It's basically the same as Hector normal, but it's got some annoying ass maps. Like, it's the kind of thing where, like, you spend your entire playthrough for a Hector hard mode run, like, trying to train people up specifically for those shitty maps. I don't know. I'll have to see what I have on my cartridge. I do actually own an FE7 cartridge. It's actually a JP version too. Ha 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 ha. I was very excited when I found it. I can't read because they use kanji and I'm bad at life, but I can play it. Unfortunately, I think my JP cartridge is locked away in a box somewhere. I wanted to make sure it was safe in the move, I'm pretty sure, so I think I wrapped it in blankets and stuff too. Okay, I think I'm just gonna have to let that weird outline thing go, because, like, otherwise I'm gonna be sitting here all day shaving off the lines. Wait, no, I'm not shaving off the lines from there. It really is like something is extending too much out. Oh shit. What the hell? Because, like, that definitely... Is it the line itself that has that artifacting there or something? Did I resize my lines? No. No, right? There's even some parts here where it's like it's too far in. The odds of me getting in trouble for having music playing in the background are pretty low, or at least I'd hope so anyway. I don't know, I've heard some horror stories of people, like, uploading their streams and immediately getting, like, copyright struck. Is that the past tense verb? Copyright striked? Copyright struck? Struck, I think it is. That's why a lot of people who stream on YouTube, as far as I know, they don't actually use playlists or stuff or anything like that, because you won't get in trouble for it on Twitch with a lot of artists, but that you will get in trouble with it on YouTube. I guess there's always the gray area. Like, if you talk enough, technically it's not the same thing, but, like, sometimes there are points where I'm just vibing to the music. I'm going, oh shit, that sounds really good. Yo, what instrument is that, you know? Or, yo, the cool vibes, the chill vibes. We're hanging out, we're relaxing, we're not stressing. I can definitely see some things where it went a little too far, but, like, it's just the same thing. No matter what I do, it's the same thing. Alright, I think I just have to leave it as is. Because, like, every attempt at fixing it does not actually fix it. It's just how the lines are, and I have to accept that. Okay, I mean, for now, I'm gonna mark this as done. Obviously, I still have to do a final check with Gel and make sure that everything matches what he wants. Like, I have to see if he wants the spot ring version of this one, or the normal version. And then for this one, I want to see if he's got like any changes to do or anything along those lines. But otherwise, this was really quick and easy. It turns out when you're making something really incredibly small, it's easy to get things done. Who would have thought? There is its own challenge of making sure that like details are visible on a small thing. But I don't know. I think I did that pretty well. I'm so good at this. Wow, wow, wow. If you are interested in getting a commission for a badge or emote or anything like that for your own, I have a coffee. Now, I haven't seen the bot in here, so I don't know why that's not working. I'll try using one of the commands, see if it works. Nope, it didn't work last time I tried it either. I'll have to investigate, see what's wrong with it. Yeah, or yes, an overly intricate D&D portrait. Yeah, that's also possible. It can be yours too, if you have the money to pay. And also, want to commission me. I'll even go out of my way to like get you guys an example, because these are badges I'm working on, but hang on. Look at this! Wow, look at all those emotes I made previously, huh? You can get one of these, something like this, for yourself. Or perhaps, instead of getting emotes, what if you want character art, like we mentioned? Well, I've got that too. Bam! Lots of character art. Some with lines, some with sketchiness, some with clean sketch lines. Or wait. Maybe you're not interested in either of those things. Hang on. I also make D&D tubers. I haven't made many, but let me just get the thing for it. Where is it? But I can make simple ones. Look at that. I can make a simple one like the bird down here. Something a little bit more complex, like the Psyduck here. Or the Bulbasaur up here even. You know, this one I didn't move any of the body parts except for like the mouth. Well, this one I did a little head tilt and everything, and the eyes are closed. So yeah, I have so many options. Yippee! Wahoo! Alright, that's enough plugging my coffee page. The Psyduck for the husband. Yeah, he hasn't used it for a while because I've only had him on for Dark Souls, and he's legally required by my PNG artist, the one who made this outfit for me. He's legally required to use the pony that she made for him. But as soon as he's free from that obligation, it'll be back to the Psyduck, I'm sure. Alright, that's been saved, so I'm gonna close that out. Alright. What do I do with the time I have left? Where are we in the playlist? We only have a couple more songs left. Here, now is a good time. I will go ahead and refill my water bottle because, I've been drinking a lot of water because it's hot. But once I'm done refilling my water bottle, we'll play an engaged map of our own and see how it goes. So I will be back in a little bit. Thank you guys for being patient with me. What the hell? I get back from my break with a nice little refreshing apple treat. And Gel is here, raiding me? I missed his raid? Ugh. God damn it. Alright, let me catch up on all the shit talk you've no doubt thrown my way. I hope I'm winning. Well, you know what? I was gonna go to engage, but I can show you what should be, ideally, like the final version of your badges, actually. For the record, you'll crush all my hopes and dreams into a fine powder, then use it to flavor the fish soup I will make with all the aquatic life I catch during a competition. Yeah. Don't worry, don't worry. Let's just ignore the fact that I'm purposefully playing as little of the game that we picked as possible to make sure that I'm not getting ahead of you. It's fine, it's fine. Also, thank you for the 3 high redeems. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to my art screen real quick. Alright, so here's what we managed to accomplish in a couple hours. We have... Where is it? Where is it? Badge 1. We've got the 3 fish. I will still find a way to lose and you can't stop me. What game did you guys pick, by the way? Are we allowed to say, Joe? Are we allowed to say even though we haven't scheduled the day yet? So issue with the spots. In order to make them show up at all... Oh, hang on. You guys probably already heard the ending. I'll just pick this one because it's got like 10 minutes to go. So yeah, getting the spots to show up at all from a distance, like if I get it at 12.5, if I put this at like 100% opacity, you can kind of see it. Not really, but you can kind of see it. But it also darkens the whole thing up quite a bit. No spots is fine. Like, if you still want it, we can have it. I had to kind of turn them more into rings than anything to make sure they would show up at like that 12.5 zoom. Maybe chat badges are more zoomed than that, but I've just been using 12.5. Don't worry about the spots. You got it. Alright, so here's your final badge. If you want me to lighten anything or darken anything, I can of course do that. I didn't play around with any sort of like contrast tone correction things, so that could be something. I'll select the whole folder, why not? I can't, I have to select a certain layer. Okay. Bam! So much bright. Wow. Bam! So much contrast. Honestly, that didn't really look any different. It's just like it ruined the high tones. Never cancel that. But then here is your other one. Oh, and you know what? Since you gave me the okay, I was showing off the promo images earlier to people because they were asking about it. But I'm glad I can just have them here on the stream overlay today. And then where is the other one? Here is the other badge, the one that had the ribbon. Like I promised, I extended the size of the ribbon quite a bit from the original sketch. I also shortened the longer part here. Here's what it is at 100 zoom. Here's this one at 100 zoom. And we're gonna zoom out some more to get our 12.5. A little more, there we go. It's beautiful. I'm assuming one of these is for gifting subs or something during, or is it for perhaps like donating directly to the charity? One of these must be for that, right? Are you allowed to say like which badge is used for what? Just gonna go back to 12.5 here. Yep, that 3 is visible. Perfect. Don't mind me while I eat my apple treat, by the way. Oh, 1 is for a sub and 3 is for watch time. Ah, I see. Good to know. Well, if you have any notes, you can just go ahead and message them to me. If not, then I will give you the ones with the translucent backgrounds. That way you can upload them in. Those are the only 2 criteria they allow for badges? Oh, interesting. Is it a new thing that they added? Badges for events? I feel like I saw an announcement about it recently, so maybe that's why there's only 2 criteria right now. The sub one is required? Wow, okay. They added it 8 days ago. Okay. And that's why I was sitting here like, I feel like I remember saying something about this recently. It's because it was like a week ago. Okay. Well, that was the result of today's art stream. I'm gonna save these. You know, I'll just save them as PNGs, like, right now. Alright, and I'm gonna send the PNGs to you now. I will make a post probably later today or tomorrow showing off the badges with the watermark too and just announcing, hey, I made these things for your event. So that way we can get some eyes on it. I don't have a huge following, but some eyes on it. There's where I saved things. Boop and boop. Any eyes are good eyes. Exactly, yeah. Just double checking. I remember last year you said people were happy to hop in anytime they wanted. Does that still go for this year? I think you might have said it, but I can't remember where. Because I will probably be showing up quite a bit because I enjoy events like these. Ha 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 ha. Hee 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 hoo. Hoo hoo. During some parts of the event. Yeah, probably not during the competitions, right? We want it to be the one-on-one focus. Excellent, then I had the right understanding. Well then, I'm just gonna get Engage pulled up by plugging my Switch into my computer, so give me just a moment.